What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to another episode of Friday Night Hangout, whatever you want to call it. But yeah, should be a pretty good episode. We got six figs in the house tonight. We're going to do a lot of crypto news, Bitcoin talk, Bitcoin ETF stuff going on today. The markets took a dump, some ICP, Elrond, whatever the heck else pops up. We can do some technical analysis. If you guys have anything that you guys want to see, just let me know down in the comments, and we'll try to get to it. But wow, we got 3Doc in the house, instantly commenting. What's going on, man? Motoko, yeah, I've heard a lot about a Motoko. I'm not too familiar with it. I know Six Figs is. I know the NFTs have been blowing up on Internet Computer. We'll talk about that and more. But yeah, if you guys don't mind, smash that thumbs up button on your way in. Definitely appreciate that. Engagement. You can do what guys can do whatever you want. Thumbs up, thumbs down, doesn't matter. But we're all here to make money, have a good time, document our crypto journey. And yeah, glad you guys could all be here on a Friday night. You could be anywhere else, but you decide to tune into my live stream with Six Figs here. It'll be a good old time. But let's just bring him in right now. Enough of me talking. And here he is.
Woo! You guys better get ready because tonight is going to be a buck wild night. We're going to be covering all the hottest things, baby. Now, thank you, Crypto Airborne, for having me back on the channel because it's about to get lit. And we've had a lot of crazy stuff going down today, which we're going to cover. I've seen the lineup that Airborne put together, and it is one hell of a spread.
Yeah, dude.
For real.
Glad you could make it tonight. I know it was kind of a last minute thing, but hey, we got to grind it out here for the bull run and just see what happens.
Yeah, Airborne paid me $700 to be here tonight, so I'm gonna do that. Plus, I'm live from your mom's house.
I'm in my basement, my mom's basement right now.
No, I'm live from your mom's house. Look at my
name. If my mom had a basement, we don't have basements. Okay. Well, we didn't have a basement growing up, surprisingly. All right, woo.
The heat is on.
Speaking of woo. Remember did you hear about that Ric Flair Woo, the Woo token or whatever?
Yes.
That was supposed to come out. Like, I don't know whatever happened to that, but I remember people talking about that was the last live stream. It was what's his name?
Jordan Mack.
Yeah, he mentioned it, and then we looked it up.
Mac
I don't know
Daddy.
I don't know what happened with that, but it probably just flopped. If anyone's watching knows about the Woo token, Ric Flair, which it was legit. He legit, I guess, made a website and promoted it. Probably made some money. Quick cash grab or something, but yeah, the Woo token
probably dumped on everybody.
Probably. But yeah, guys, should be a good show. We're gonna do a little bit market overview, talk about a little bit the spot Bitcoin ETF, what happened the last 2 days, the dump we had today, Internet Computer, all you guys. I've been getting into it a lot lately, even though Six Figs is an OG. He's been talking about it for quite a while, but just within the last couple of weeks, I've been getting deep into the ecosystem, and I'm kicking myself for not getting deeper into it like you've always been talking about it and whatnot. But
I've tried to convert you, young grasshopper.
Yeah,
you're hopping along now.
Yeah, even like I'm a big Multiverse X guy, and I like my Multiverse X. That's my second largest bag, full disclosure. But I'm liking ICP a little bit more. I hate to say it to a lot of the Multiverse X people who watch me and whatnot, but I don't know. I love the community aspect of it. Both have strong communities, and I think Multiverse X still is kind of like a hidden gem. It's a little bit underrated, where ICP is still underrated in my opinion. Nobody's talking about it, but the technology's there and great community. I think the next year is going to be crazy for both blockchains.
I agree. Yeah,
Strika's in the house.
Oh, what's up, Strika? Yeah, for sure. That's an OG right there. Strike has been around for a long time, so good to see you, buddy.
How's Australia right now? I think it's daytime over there right now, right? It's like
the land down under.
All right, so let's see. Man, the market, I think the market's still dumping right now. Let me just refresh it here on Coinbase. Sorry to blind you people. I got to sign in to put dark mode on, but it is what it is. Man, Bitcoin, it's still hovering above that 42,000 mark. I know there's a nice support line at that 42,000, and I know Six Figs, you probably could do some technical analysis. I talked about it a little bit in my earlier video from today. But yeah, we went down, I think, to like 41,000. It dumped to like 41.5 or something like that, or it wicked down to it. And I picked some up right at like 41,700. I bought
Nice.
$50 worth. I don't know if I think I was putting together my video and I was on the 1 minute chart and I was like, what's going on? It was, I don't know when exactly it happened, but yeah, I picked up a little bit, but it was hovering around that 42K mark. And now we're at about 42.5 right now, still down 7%, 7.5% on the day, especially with the spot Bitcoin ETFs. It's second day of, being live on the stock markets. But we'll get into that a little bit more about the actual inflows and outflows of the actual volume. I'm still a little confused of what it is or where people are pulling the data from, where you can actually get the data for that ETF volume. But we'll get into that a little bit later. ETH's down about 2.38%, 2,500. Yeah, pretty much everything was down. I'm curious the top gainers, though. And a lot of these I haven't heard of, but I'm starting to recognize these when the markets are down. These have been doing pretty decent. Synapse up 30%. Live Peer, Sway. Have you heard of this one? I've been hearing this a lot lately.
Yeah, I've heard of it. I don't know anything about it. I've heard of it, though.
Yeah, it's up number 56.
How the hell does that have a $1 billion market cap?
Looks like it's a layer one. I've heard Cryptos RS talk about it a lot.
Okay.
Who I haven't really been watching lately because of the ICP rants that I've been talking about with him not talking about ICP, but I know he talks about that a lot. So losers, we got Bonk, the Solana meme coin, down 15.42%. And then a couple other ones I haven't really heard of. But yeah, overall, generally, the whole market's been down.
Can you search one in there for me? Yeah. Type in SYNC. I'm looking for Syncus.
They might not have it here on Coinbase.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, it's not on Coinbase. Okay. Oh, I didn't know that. So that is a Coinbase thing. Okay.
Yeah. I'm just looking
Syncus is some degen coin that I've got right now. And it's a total Ponzi scheme style thing. But this freaking coin has been carrying my portfolio all day. And the thing was up like 15-20% at one point today. And I was like, holy cow.
Oh, wow. I know you've talked about that in a couple of your live streams, but I don't know anything about it other than it's a Ponzi degen coin.
Yeah, very much. Yeah, very much so.
Let's jump into the holidays. The most popular one today, it's Kiss a Ginger Day. Did you ever know they had a Kiss a Ginger Day holiday? 55,000 shares.
Never heard of it.
Yeah, I like doing these. There's always a random weird day. Every single day there's something. National Curried Chicken Day. Hot Tea Day.
National Quitters Day. What?
Yeah, Quitters Day, and then there's Work Harder Day. I mean, a Work Harder Day, you got to have a national holiday for that. That's crazy.
Okay.
Birthdays, I think there's 3 big people you probably heard of. Rob Zombie. It's Rob Zombie's birthday today. Bezos.
Oh, your boss, your former boss.
Former boss who was, I don't know if he's not the richest guy in the world anymore. I think Musk is still.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Howard Stern. It's his birthday today, man.
What the hell is that? What's that?
I said my dad used to listen to him a lot growing up.
Yeah.
I don't know if your dad did. I don't know. I probably, my mom, if she found out, probably be pretty upset. But yeah, I remember listening to him. But nowadays, I don't even know if he still is around.
Oh yeah, he is.
Sure.
Oh,
all right. Crypto bubbles top 100. See you red, obviously. Although the last hour is doing pretty good. Looks like we have a small pump. What the heck is eHex?
I've never heard of that.
Yeah.
eHex.
I've heard of Hex. Usually Hex has been pumping. I know the last week I've been seeing that up on here.
Yeah, Hex got brutally beaten for the last while.
Oh, here's Hex. Okay. The last week, though, it's been up 71.5%.
Hey, do me a favor and click on eHex one more time. Okay, so that's at a $796 million market cap. What gives? I don't understand that. Well, I've never even heard of it. How is it at that market cap already? Crazy.
Anyone in the comments heard of eHex? Is it like a sub coin or something of Hex? I don't follow Hex.
No, me neither.
Or anything, but
I somewhat envy Richard Hart and his style because, after I make this next bag off this market. I'm flying right over to the Gucci store.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get
Oh,
absolutely Gucci'd out. I'm gonna
yeah.
get the suit, the tracksuit. You guys are gonna be like, holy F.
Yeah.
Like, who is this guy? You know, I'm sitting here wearing a $2,000 jacket right now. You know, this used to belong to Barry White. It was custom. I got the custom placard right in the thing.
I was about to
Yeah,
say you
so
wear that a lot in a lot of your videos, but
yeah,
I don't think you've ever really explained it too often. And
I
to
got
me,
2 of
I
them.
don't have any taste in style. And who exactly is that again? I don't even know who it is. Barry White, you said?
Yeah, so Barry White was he's passed away some years ago. But basically he was like basically he was like an old school musician, like 70s, 80s. That's when he kind of came up.
Mm-hmm.
But really, like he had more of like a soul funk disco style, and this guy was just, yeah,
Obi said Barry was a deep
exactly,
baritone R&B singer. Gotcha.
exactly. And I owned this is actually one of his stage jackets, and so I've got another one right here, and then I sold the other one. Like I bought him from his estate in Beverly Hills, and basically you can see that, well, you guys can see this, but you can see like on the inside of the jacket they put a patch Barry White on
Uh-huh.
there.
Oh, wow.
And funny story about this was I got these out of his estate sale out of Beverly Hills. I bought 3 of them, and then the jacket I ended up selling was some crazy color. It looked like like 10 peacocks had been killed and
Mm-hmm.
to build this jacket. And some guy made an offer on it that I couldn't refuse, that basically paid for these other 2 jackets and put money in my pocket. So I was like, okay, I'll let it go. But I wish I still had that jacket. But yeah,
What
you know
brand
what?
is it?
It's custom. So it's made
Ah.
by a company in Beverly Hills called Certo. And back in the day, they used to custom tailor all of his suits.
Mm-hmm.
Now they have transitioned into more of like a custom shoe company. So
Okay.
last I checked, hopefully they're still in business. But yeah, it was an
Wow.
interesting. I've always been a fan of Barry White, and it was just kind of like a random thing when these things came up for sale, and I was like, you know what, this is pretty cool. So I bought them like a decade, probably like 10, 15 years ago,
Wow.
and I just still have them. So wear them for special occasions, and then I just recently started throwing them on for the live streams because they're kind of crazy.
I know. I need to get something. I'm a
Yeah.
standard hat and t-shirt
Well,
type of guy.
once the bull market hits, we take our profits. Me
Yeah.
and you will fly out to the Gucci store.
Yeah. And
Get a
do like
tracksuit.
a vlog or live stream. I'm
Exactly.
down.
Okay.
And there you guys have it. That's the history behind Six Figs jacket that
Yeah.
he wears in all of his videos, or most of his videos.
Yeah.
All right, favorites. We got ICP up. Was this
Okay.
last day? Everything's red, obviously, but within the last hour, everything looks like it's doing pretty good. I mean, I'm not too surprised. The whole day's been pretty much down. We're doing a slow little recovery. Same thing with the fear and greed index. Yesterday we were at a 71 greed. Whole market took a little dump today. Currently at a 64. Stock markets, traditional markets, I wasn't really paying attention today besides for the Bitcoin ETFs, obviously, but the S&P up, NASDAQ was up, Dow Jones down a little bit. Looks like Dow closed more than 100 points lower than Friday. Ekes out a weekly gain. What is Ekes? EKES. I don't even know what that means.
Like
Yeah.
I think it might have axed out a weekly gain, maybe.
Gotcha. DXY, if you guys know me, I talk about this all my videos. It's been trading exactly sideways in this channel for, I don't know, over 10 days now, the 2nd of January. So I don't know if there's going to be a move here soon to the upside or downside. Have you been tracking the DXY at all? But
No, but there's a nice symmetrical triangle squeeze there, and there's a nice bull flag pull. So I think that would possibly be construed as a bull pennant. I think we're
okay,
going to see the dollar rise here.
gotcha. Total crypto market cap right now, another channel that we've been kind of bouncing around in to the upside. We slowly went above that when the ETF launched yesterday, but then with the second day of ETF launching, we kind of dipped all the way down below this trend line here. We wicked below it, but we're respecting the TA, and still like this bottom trend line hit it. It's been a pretty strong support right now. And I don't know, we're literally touching that support right now, about a 1.62 trillion dollar market cap here. And this looks exactly similar to Bitcoin right now, which we'll get to here. Actually, Bitcoin dominance been on a downtrend, 51.27%. Usually when Bitcoin dominance is in a downtrend, that's kind of when the altcoin, not altcoin season, but when altcoins usually rally. Bitcoin, talk about that right now. Currently down about 7.5%, $42,547. I did have, I don't know if we should get into the TA here shortly, but obviously all the 11 spot Bitcoin ETFs today were down about in between 6 and 7%. And a lot of people were asking the question, why was it down today? And I like this meme. Welcome to Bitcoin for a lot of people, the boomers or whoever got into the spot Bitcoin ETF who isn't, historically or traditionally into crypto. We're used to these big swings. I think it dipped about 7 to 8% today. Nothing too crazy. I'm used to it at this point, especially going through the last bull run and the previous one. So I thought this was kind of funny. But this is the thing that I believe in Six Figs. I want to know your opinion on this. Why the whole market pretty much dumped today, and it was because of the GBTC shares, because approximately 25 billion plus of the Grayscale Bitcoin has been locked up for years. There hasn't been an option to sell it, but as soon as the redemption options opened, that was the first time for the people that held on to this to exit Bitcoin. They sold on the market. Now they're taking a discount again. This guy's saying that 25 billion is a serious number. Even if it's just 20% are redeemed, that's 5 billion in sales in the market. He's saying that the issue is that I doubt that the ETF providers have this much demand as quickly. Could see some selling pressure for a while, but luckily the market's not selling off. It's mainly Bitcoin, not the alts.
Yeah, my take on this whole thing, I like RAN. And the other thing is too, like, we're talking about like 25 billion. I don't think it's as serious as like people think. Really, when it comes down to it, yeah, it's 25 billion. If we sell off that, I mean, it's just, what Bitcoin's at, 900 trillion. So it'll 25 billion will get absorbed in the next couple of weeks.
Yeah, and
it's just easy. Yeah, that can get absorbed in a week.
Yeah,
a couple days.
And I think they said yesterday's total volume was, and people correct me in the comments, I think it was about 4.6, 4.7 billion trading volume. But then I saw a bunch of tweets and stuff from people earlier today was saying that was that inflows or was that, people selling off? And people were saying that it was the majority of the GBT shares, and there actually wasn't really that much buying that went on today.
Yeah, I don't think, to us, the Bitcoin ETFs are like, oh my God. But like to the rest of the population, nobody gives a crap about it.
Right.
Our parents, like the general public, they don't give a shit about any of this Bitcoin ETF stuff, especially after what went on the news today. And I know you've got something coming up today or coming up here in a second, but yeah.
Because I was wondering, like, I was trying to find the data exactly, and I'm seeing, and I just typed in spot Bitcoin volume right here on Twitter, and I put the latest tweets because I wanted to know what the volume was for today. And there's just a whole bunch of people putting whatever the heck. So that's why you always got to do your own research. And I don't even know what's true or where you can actually pull the data specifically to see. But some people are saying the second day of Bitcoin spot ETF trading, total trading volume has surged. So this is total yesterday and today. Inflows, outflows is over 7.6 billion, according to Watcher Guru. But where's Watcher Guru pulling his info from? And then you start going down the feed a little bit. Then it starts saying this person said that for just the trading volume in today for day 2 was about 1 billion, according to Yahoo Finance data. I mean, where exactly are they pulling the data? Where can you actually pull this data from? I'm not smart enough to know. Six Figs, I don't know if you know, where do they pull this data from that you can see?
Oh, I know exactly. This is a trust me, bro.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Because then look at this one. Just in, Bitcoin ETF spot cumulative trading volume hits 5 billion.
Looks like it's via Yahoo Finance. And Yahoo Finance, Yahoo used to be the king, right? Back in the day. I tell you what, they have a phenomenal finance interface. So it would be interesting, like out of all this stuff, I would maybe trust Yahoo Finance more than like some of these other outfits. But I'm going to look at this while we're talking about this.
Yeah, because then here's another one. The second day of spot Bitcoin ETF trading volume totaled more than 3.1 billion. BlackRock leading the way with 564 million in volume. Fidelity 431. Grayscale had a total trade volume of 1.8 and saw outflows of 95 million on its first trading day. So it's just kind of like a little bit all over the place. This guy's saying US spot Bitcoin ETF is reached 4.6 volume in the first day. So yeah, I mean, if 4.6 was a 4.7, like, I don't know. So I thought that was kind of interesting.
It might have been just a conglomerated number between all these ETFs, because like right now I'm looking at the Grayscale Bitcoin ETF. It did $47 million today.
Gotcha.
That's like nothing. 47 million. That's nothing. Right. Bloomberg Terminal. That's like the number one.
So yeah, we'll have to definitely check that out, or maybe look. I'm gonna check that out tomorrow just to see, or you actually pull the numbers. Yep. Trading volume. Gotcha. But yeah, so let's take a look at the charts real quick. And I talked about this a little bit. There's two different scenarios in the longer time frame and on the shorter time frame that I was looking at. There is this bottom trend line here that has been a pretty decent support line since about October of 2023. And I just kind of drew it a simple line. Like, I'm no TA expert like you are, but I mean, we've hit it here, bounced off, bounced off, but we're still continuing that uptrend. We wick down to here, and today, huge wick all the way down to what is 41,527. And I bought a pretty, about $50-$60, nothing crazy, around, I think about 41.8. So I pulled the trigger here around this, but it was bouncing around here. It was like kind of like, should it stay at 42? Should it go to a little bit below it? But look, we're literally at 42,491. I mean, my line's not perfect right now, but respect the TA. This trend line here seems to be a good support line right now, as Bitcoin continues to move up. And then on the shorter time frame, a lot of people are saying we have this ascending triangle that was playing out, and ascending triangle obviously is a bullish pattern. We did, with that news, the spot Bitcoin ETF news, we dipped down below it, and they were saying at the beginning of this ascending triangle that was kind of the support, but not really. We kind of busted through that right now. So right now, at least on the little bit longer time frame, nothing like too huge. This is the trend line I'm looking at for just basic TA. So 6 figs. I don't know if you want to do a little bit of TA on Bitcoin, just kind of what you're seeing. I don't have any moving averages or anything, but are you seeing about the 42K as a nice support for Bitcoin right now?
Man, can I share my screen quick?
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna just share this quick. Oh boy.
Smash that thumbs up, guys.
That's right. Oh my gosh, I don't know what's going on here. How do I share? What in the world is going on here? I'm having issues. There we go. Share the screen. Share the screen. I almost shared my adult tape that I made. All right, here we go. All right, so here's the deal with Bitcoin, folks. Like, this is the ascending triangle that I think Bitcoin Renegade was referring to. And there was a very nice, almost textbook ascending triangle where we just saw these lows getting higher, and they were just cramming against this trend line here. We had a little false start, but things ripped. And one thing that I am seeing here is that I think that this could possibly be a harmonic pattern in disguise. And typically with the harmonic patterns, you do not want to see point C, which would be this shoulder, be any higher than point A, which would be this area. And I'll just draw this out. And I think that, obviously the ETF excitement, this is kind of one of those things where TA just kind of goes out the window because there are some
exterior factors, but this to me possibly could have been some sort of harmonic pattern. And I can tell you guys this, one thing that I'd be looking for is that the price action at point B would come down to the 61.8 or 786. Now, this in theory isn't a correct bullish Gartley or bullish butterfly because C exceeds the height of point A, but there's exterior circumstances in this situation. So I do think that, quite simply, we could be seeing this harmonic pattern play out. And the one thing that I'd be looking for in this instance is the fact that we'd be seeing price dip down to the 127 or the 161.8, which is kind of where we're at right now. So I think that there could have been a harmonic pattern happening in disguise here with Bitcoin. I do think that possibly the bleeding might subside for a little bit. And I do think that what we're going to see from here on out is some sort of symmetrical triangle or something like that. I think we're going to start to see somewhat of a sideways momentum movement over the next few days. And I say this only because right now, here's the price right down here. So in my own opinion, folks, like, this is just me. Like, this price action, way too far from this Ichimoku cloud. Just my thoughts. But I do want to and also on this 4-hour chart, RSI is in the tank. I mean, we're seeing this thing at 27 points. You guys can see every time we get down into these dumps, usually we'll see a little bit of a bounce. I'm hoping that's what we see here. But I really want to look at this at a very high level as far as like, bear with me 1 second here. What is going on?
There's no trading Monday. I forgot it's a holiday.
There's no trading on Monday. And that's another thing you guys got to think about too, is that, like, ETFs are just going to be traded like the stocks. So we might see crypto go wild on the weekends and during the night. Once the daytime hits, it might change things. But what we are going to do now is throw up we are going to throw up some GON fans. We'll roll the 45-degree angles off this low here, and we'll roll some 45-degree angles off basically this swing high up here. And I'm going to show you guys what I'm measuring. So basically what I'm doing is measuring this wick, but directly above this. And we're going to throw up the GON fans to see what invisible trend lines we are dealing with here. So right now, I just want to kind of make sure like these GON fans are placed well. But right now we're kind of seeing like a rejection here, some rejections here, some support along this line here, rejection here. So I think like these GON fans, there's some support here. So I think right now that these fans are possibly legit. But man, let's look at this on the daily. And yeah, you can kind of see price action reach down and try to touch this GON fan here. As far as like the daily charts are concerned, I don't know, guys. Like, if we see Bitcoin trading below 41.6, I think we're fair game to 40,000 down to 39,000.
Yeah, there's a lot of people calling for below. Like, this is
sure.
They're saying what we hit 49,000 on the ETF launch, which was the highest it's been in over 2 years. People saying that's kind of like our mid peaks, like top before the halving, and now we're going to go down for the next 3 months, whatever, until the halving, or 4 months even afterwards, and before we start going up. But
right,
I don't know.
I mean, even Bitcoin though, like since October, or we'll just go September 11th. I mean, this thing's up 100% in like 3 or 4 months. So Yeah, we're going to see some retracements here and there. I don't think this is anything significant yet. And I do remember like the last bull run back in 2021. A lot of people like don't understand, like there was, and this is a very little move here, you know, to compared to some of these retracements in here. But I think that there was like a significant amount of retracements on the way up, like 80 or 50 or 80 of them that were greater than like 10%. I'm not sure what the exact metric was on that, but you know, I've seen something like that.
Dang. Oh, the other thing the time sequence. Have you plotted any of those lately?
You know, I really, I don't know if I have, but we definitely can do that. So let's just look at the time sequence. I'm really liking this swing high from November of 2021 down to this swing low of November of 2022. And I do think that we're going to see a time sequence pop up like right over here. But we'll do some more conservative time sequences. Yeah. See, this is yeah, let's look at this more on like a 4-hour chart. Try to find some. This is a pretty wicked swing high to swing low down here. So let's just check this out and see if anything pops up. Okay. So yeah, right now, basically time sequence predicted, you know, maybe a slight reversal in there. It definitely predicted a reversal point right up in this area. You know, there's really not anything to be super like enthusiastic about as far as the time sequences at this point in time, in my opinion. But maybe here is something. We had a reversal prediction here. You know, this didn't really predict much, but this kind of predicted the middle of a reversal, increased volatility. You know, maybe keep your eyes on Sunday, January 14th, 10 a.m. within 4 hours of that central time. So like anywhere from like 6 to 2 p.m. This Sunday, the 14th central time, we might get some sort of increased volatility.
Gotcha.
Possibly.
Interesting.
Possibly. Yeah.
Well, you guys have it for the Bitcoin TA from the TA expert.
I'm no expert.
All right, let's move it on. We're about 30 minutes in. Pretty good talk about Bitcoin. There is one thing, and you talked about this in your video today. I glanced at it, and I talked about it in my video. And I'm curious, all you 22 people watching, what you guys think about this video about Gary Gensler. And this,
the
I forget the
twiggy
guy's name.
alien boy.
Yeah, this guy is weird, man. Like, who's this guy that is interviewing him? You said he's an SBF dude,
Yeah,
lover or something.
Oh yeah. That's Andrew Ross Sorkin, and basically he's with like the New York Times, NBC, and this guy is a sellout. So you can pay Andrew Ross Sorkin, if you're in his circle, any amount of money, and basically this dude will FUD whatever you want. He'll praise whatever you want. Like he is the king of like absolute disgusting journalism.
Yeah,
like it's incredible,
dude. When I watched this video, I almost thought this Gary Gensler was a deep fake, and his hands was like a puppet.
really.
And I commented, his hands when he's talking, he's shaking, so he's scared, or it's a weird dude. It was the weirdest video. It's the first thing I thought, like because obviously right now deep fakes and AI, everything is so crazy. I mean, this could be real, but like it just makes you think. Like now and moving into the future, all the stuff that we're gonna start viewing, is it even legit or not? Like you got Wendy O. This is embarrassing. He approved it, but I guess he needs to appease his overlords.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
He's a lizard person, dude. Look at this
Yeah,
guy.
he does.
He looks like a bitch.
reptilian.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. But he said, I think I fast forwarded it a little bit, but yeah, it's a highly speculative, volatile asset for money laundering and ransomware. I mean, so is fiat, so is dirty money. It's actually
Exactly.
even worse because
Right.
you can't trace it. That's it, but they
Right.
won't say that.
Right.
But yeah, just take a listen. Take a listen to this real quick.
Well, look, Bitcoin itself, we did not approve, we do not endorse. This is a product
But he makes it a spot Bitcoin ETF.
Mhm.
called an exchange-traded product, a way that investors can invest in that underlying.
Yeah, but look at his hands look like rubber, like they're fake. Like I swear to God, I watched the video. Did anyone else notice that? Like, look at his hands. It looks like they're like someone's controlling them, or they're like rubber, but he's shaking. And no one's mentioned this. Watch it.
Non-security commodity called Bitcoin. But yes, investors, I think, should be aware that the underlying asset is a highly speculative, volatile asset. And amongst its use cases is really for illicit activity, money laundering and sanctions and ransomware and the like. And I know that you've asked other people over the last few days, is it being used as a store of value? It's a speculative, volatile store of value. Is it being used as a payment?
Seriously,
Looks
I can't even look at his face. Look at his everyone focus on.
It looks like
his
he's got
hand.
6 fingers on that one hand.
Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4.
No, I'm just
can't
kidding.
No, it does. But his hands look like rubber or something, and they're going like this, and you can't see his arms. It's like someone's, I don't know, just watching. This is just totally conspiracy stuff going on. But just check this out.
Anywhere? Are we buying cups of coffee with it? Not really. The only payment mechanism it's being used for, in sort of in a primary sense, is illicit activity. So I think you've been spot on about that, Andrew.
Of course he has.
Yeah, I mean, what a joker.
One is right now first.
But yeah, that came out today, and I noticed that it was just weird. I don't know, this guy got early Parkinson's disease or something.
I mean, hopefully he doesn't have anything like that, but he's it looks like a hostage video.
I love reading the comments to the videos.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, if he didn't sit down and do that interview, maybe they would have found him unalive tomorrow or something.
Yeah.
I don't know. I guarantee you there's a lot of powers that be that influence that man.
Right. So that came out. And then I think last thing for Bitcoin, I don't know if you saw this. We're close to the halving. We're about 93% to the halving. This is kind of a chart going over 93% and then what happened, that little white mark that you guys see, that vertical line in between, what happened. So if you go all the way back to the first halving number 1, where it kind of just went sideways. And then as soon as we went to the halving, a month or 2 went by, it looks like, and then straight up, down a little bit, kind of like a double top. And then the next halving, 93%, it looks like we kind of went boom, straight up, went down a little bit, and then we had that blow off top back in 2017, end of 2017. And then 93% of the way, right before that COVID crash, we went boom. So imagine if we didn't have that black swan event, it probably would repeat what happened in the halving 2 and halving 1. So now we're at 93% right now for halving number 4. What's going to happen between now and April? Are we going to see the same thing that we saw in halving 2, 93%, halving 1, or we just kind of either sideways up a little bit, down, then up? We're going to have a black swan event. Who knows? Bitcoin is so early right now. I mean, what do you think? What do you think we're going to do? Sideways, up? I mean, history tends to repeat itself. I just thought this was a pretty good chart to show everybody.
Yeah, this is an interesting situation. Like when I see a chart like this,
automatically my brain starts thinking of Elliott wave theory. And really, there is a very nice, 0 through 5 impulse wave from 2012 all the way up till 2021. So hopefully there was enough time in between all these peaks of these bull runs to kind of wash things out. And hopefully we're not going to see some sort of nasty correction that happens that allows Wall Street to kind of flood in. But, I think that at 2x, 2.5x from here isn't out of the picture. And I don't think I mean, last bull run, we've got, what was it? 59,000 or 69,000 was the top?
Yeah, 69.
Something like that, like crazy. Now we're sitting at 40 something. So I think like 100K is easy this run, maybe more.
Yeah, I don't want to make price predictions because anything could happen the next like 2 years. I mean, whatever everyone predicts or thinks is going to happen, it's always the opposite. Same thing with like the spot Bitcoin ETF. Everyone, oh, it's going to move. Did the opposite. Oh, it's priced in, all that type of stuff.
Yeah.
Obi's thinking 69,000 was 2021 is 78,000 now. Oh, because of inflation. So yeah.
That's true.
That's crazy.
Very true.
But yeah, Bitcoin guys, let me know in the comments down below your guys' price predictions. If you have any, what do you think we're going to do from, 93% now, where we're at towards the halving until April of the halving. I don't know. We'll just have to wait and see. All right. So we're about 42 minutes in. I want to do this for maybe about an hour. Maybe we'll talk about internet computer for the next 20 minutes or so. I got a little bit of things that I talked about in my video earlier. So for you Bitcoin people or whatever, if you're interested in the altcoins, shitcoins, whatever, you guys can just feel free to leave or whatever you want to do.
Hell no. Let me tell you guys this. This is going to be the greatest information you're ever about to hear. You need to stick around, not go away.
But yeah, it's been a long time coming for me, and doing a lot of videos on internet computer lately. I know maybe I have some OG people listening to me, but I've been doing this. Let's see, since I've been actually doing social media since 2016. Not 2016, since 2006. I got another channel, but I don't really upload onto that. It's actually my real name, but I'm not going to dox it yet. But maybe. I don't know. We'll see what happens this bull run.
Pete Schweddy is the name.
I mean, some of you guys know that are watching, but I literally, my channel got monetized at the very tail end of the bull run. And then pretty much I've been making videos during the bear markets. I went kind of quiet for a little bit, but nothing too crazy. And I had the same thought of probably a lot of people watching about internet computer, about it being a rug pull, a scam, blah, 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 blah. It just launched at the wrong time. I mean, I'm not going to get too deep into what happened with internet computer. You just got to do your own research. But Six Figs out obviously has been there from the beginning, exposed with the perpetual futures on FTX with SBF and all that type of stuff. But I've been doing some heavy research lately the last month or so. My channel's been doing well, and I appreciate all the people tuning in, whether that be, you're an old Voyager person who used to watch me, Multiverse X, ICP, CKB, whatever it is. That's kind of mainly what I talk about on my channel. I appreciate you guys tuning in. But, dude, ICP has been doing pretty well. And just like Multiverse X, I think ICP is kind of an up-and-coming blockchain based off the technology and everything. And I mean, you can take that with a grain of salt. You talk to a Bitcoin maxi about it, they're going to say something differently. But for me personally, I like keeping an open mind. I don't like to be a maxi on anything. But yeah, ICP, man, it's ranked number 18 currently out of all the cryptocurrencies. It's got a $5.7 billion market cap, 219 million trading volume, circulating supplies, 455 million right now. And it's been doing pretty well. I don't know if you saw this. They're continuing to do developer grants. They're onboarding new different projects, new companies. A lot of this stuff. And I talked about my video earlier today. I don't understand a lot of this stuff. I mean, but I think it's good for the ecosystem. I think it's good for the blockchain to build and grow. You need a lot of developers. You want a blockchain that's easy to develop. You see a lot of these different blockchains. There's a lot of developers that they can't build. It's not user friendly. It's expensive. If you look at the data, and depending where you pull the data from, there's a lot of people leaving different blockchains and heading to ICP. A lot of people heading to Multiverse X. It just depends. I mean, I'm not a developer. I'm not a coder. I don't know the ins and outs, but yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with ICP. I know you've been in it for a while.
Yeah, you know, I mean, people like it. It's you know, it's fast, it's cheap, it's super cheap to like store data on chain, stuff like that. Like, I don't know, they got like a couple hundred researchers that are basically researching and working for Dfinity, developers and things like that. They've got like a couple hundred different patents on all sorts of patents, like within like the, I don't know, like crypto developing and like all these different cryptographic methods that they've come up with. So that's pretty cool. I mean, it is what it is.
Yeah.
So
but they got a lot of stuff coming out with their new
yeah.
grants here. This one, I want to do some research on. It kind of caught my eye out of the 5. And if you guys think of Square, you know, it's a point of sale where I'm sure if you've gone to a food truck rally or whatever, and you want to pay with your Apple Wallet, like I usually do, or whatever, it's a point of sale. Like for a small business, you want to take crypto. I mean, I think Square integrates it. I don't really know. You have to probably download an API or something into it. But what Dfinity has right now, there's called Tabby POS. It's a blockchain payment solution, integrates a hardware terminal with proof, or not. I keep wanting to say proof of stake every time I see that. Point of sale software that seamlessly merges the blockchain with real world business operations. Tabby POS is a cash register terminal that supports crypto. And they not only, I guess, are going to support ICP. There's a whole bunch of other ones that they're going to do too. So I got to check out that. I don't know if you saw that.
I haven't checked it out yet.
And then the other 2 right here, it gets pretty techy. It's a lot of probably developer stuff. Committable IO platform where developers can authenticate contributions using developer DID verifiable profiles. Mint and manage their project, claim rewards. And then there's
Kind of seems like a LinkedIn or something.
Yeah, simplifies blockchain development with modular infrastructure and inverter open library this, I don't know, this goes beyond my developing mindset of whatever, but regardless, I think this is bullish. This is developers want to build something. This is a way for them to get a grant to help build their project on internet computer.
Yeah, I know. From last time I heard, it might be a little bit less now, but Dfinity had over 200 million set aside for like community grants and developer grants, things like that. So they had set aside a big chunk of change to kind of help people build some crazy things on the chain. I think like we'll see this chain kind of become like somewhat of like a complementer chain, because a lot of other chains are just fine the way they are. Their communities, their ecosystems are just fine the way they are. But I think one of the biggest problems they run into is like, for example, Ethereum. It's expensive to store the data on the chain. If we think about like why decentralization and why these blockchains and stuff like that exist, you know, like blockchains exist because like, you know, the smart contracts can't, like, you know, when they're done in good faith, they don't rug us. They, you know, we can trust them, things like that. Obviously, we want our freedom. We don't want to be tampered with. So, like, you know, if you're hosting some of your back end data and stuff like that on, you know, like a chain like ICP or, you know, Filecoin or something like that, you know, that really kind of allows the chains to do it on the cheap and, you know, just maintain that completely decentralized, basically that completely decentralized identity in a way, you know, or platform. You know, because, you know, hey, we're not storing data on Google Cloud that Gary Gensler, like, I don't know, somebody in the government could say to Google, we're going to fine you if you allow this to continue.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
That's the one big thing that I like. It's hosted on its own blockchain, with canisters and everything. It's not hosted on AWS, which is a lot of these blockchains are.
Yeah.
Solana, Avalanche, Ethereum.
Yeah.
Like, they could technically shut that down if something were to, the government could shut that down. They'd be like, hey, AWS, we're going to fine you. Boom. Then all those blockchains literally shut off.
Yeah. And I mean,
It's
not
huge.
everything needs to run on the chain, so I mean, there could be some examples where AWS is just fine, but like to escape any threat of, hostility from the governments or whoever, might as well just throw it all on chain if at least, if at all possible.
Yeah. All right. So let's move on to, this is Dominic Williams. I don't know if, I think he was recently interviewed by Defiant News, but he says, and this is his vision, it's not just about Web3. The vision for ICP is also about enterprise. Our objective is to enable people to create absolutely any kind of backend system or any online system exclusively from smart contracts. And I've talked about this in a couple of my videos and Six Figs as well, but enterprises, and this is the big thing that people are trying to guess, or some big partnership that they are going to have where potentially ICP will be built on one of these big, I don't know, just think of a big company like a Fortune 500 company that's building AWS or whatever, Google Cloud. If they want to like be more secure, unhackable, be everything traceable, they're going to go to ICP. So his big thing is an enterprise. So with that being said, he did have a little article. There's a couple things I wanted to highlight. It was down here. Let me see. I highlighted it. It was about, let me see. Maybe it just, yeah. Our objective is to enable people to create absolutely any kind of backend system or any online system exclusively from smart contracts. I already said that. Developing solutions for large companies may be key to the protocol's growth. Not about Web3. Vision Internet Computer is about enterprise. Like I said, I guess I just recapped it. But with all that being said, do you know what's happening with Dominic Williams, what he's doing? Yeah. He is going to be attending Davos, which I did talk about in my video. You guys who are conspiracy theorists and everything, World Economic Forum, anyone who has any partnership or relationship with that's kind of a red flag in my opinion. So, and I'm not a maxi whatsoever. I know, but I might be a little biased to this, but he is going to be speaking at, I don't know if it's like a sub speaking event within the WEF called Hub Davos, but it's all like a bunch of blockchain people that are going to be talking about this. And he's talking about, he's going to be on a panel called Here to Stay, how blockchains are reshaping our world.
Yeah, there's going to be a panel of a bunch of people. They've got folks from Solana there. They've got folks from Ledger, T-Mobile. It's going to be more of like this crypto themed. I think there's.
Yeah, I got it here. Like this is the program.
Here we go.
Yeah, these are all the people here.
Yeah, T-Mobile. Yeah.
That's the only thing that was a little red flag once I heard about that. I don't know. I don't think you talked about it, but I always keep an open mind with things. But I mean, hey, if he's there to network with these people and potentially build out the blockchain and get partnerships with these people, I mean.
Yeah. And I mean, when you think about like the Davos, like 2024 and like a grander scheme, like there's so much, like this is like all of the world's financial leaders of all the financial institutions like kind of coming together at a summit type of thing. Like it's just this I feel like this little crypto panel that they're doing is a very minuscule part of what is actually going on.
Yeah.
So, but it is, hey, if you can get these people in the same rooms as some of the largest financial institutions, things like that, you might be able to turn some wheels. I don't know.
And I'm going to throw this comment up here by Obi. Davos recruiting people to develop the ultimate S-coin CBDCs. Yeah, you make it a point, but I'm going to play my former military PSYOP officer. some of these guys might know what's going on. Like Dominic Williams may understand that, but he doesn't give a crap. Like he's going to go and do that. Like me personally, if I was doing this, like you wanted to promote your blockchain for the good of the people or whoever, I'm going to go ahead and play along with the WEF. I don't even know if I should be saying this on YouTube, but yeah, I mean, this is my PSYOP mentality.
Yeah.
It's just exposure for the blockchain. I mean,
Right.
there's a lot. I mean, you get deep into politics and the stuff with this.
Yeah.
Where there's so many people in politics, even with the Vivek guy, the presidential candidate for the U.S., the young guy, he was a part of it or something, or he attended it. And then all of a sudden, oh, he was WEF. He's part of the New World Order, all that. Get deep into that. But I don't know at this point.
Yeah.
I mean, they could be or they couldn't. So I take it all with a
Yeah,
grain of salt.
exactly.
I do the PSYOPs. I do my critically thinking when it comes to this and them going to this. But I just think of this kind of as like a mass marketing thing, in my opinion. So, I mean, just got to keep an open mind.
Yeah.
Basically.
Yeah. 100%.
Yeah. Obi made a point. What's not at Davos? Bitcoin and privacy coins like Monero, decentralized networks. 100%. No, that's exactly what I'm talking about, man.
Yeah.
They're not gonna have people like that. So again, just something to think about, everyone. You guys are watching that.
I mean, Bitcoin too, to the point, like it doesn't really have a CEO. So
right.
Maybe if there was a CEO, they'd go, but yeah, there's Monero. Like I like Monero and what it stands for. And of course, we're not going to have them there.
Enough about the conspiracy stuff. You guys can write whatever you want in the comments. But I think last thing for ICP that I have here is there's been a decreasing amount of ICP on all of the exchanges right now.
Yeah.
Certain exchanges have a little bit more than others. Some do not. But apparently just the other day, there was an influx of ICP into Binance, about 736,403 ICP, or about $10 million that were transferred. So now the hot wallet of Binance has about 1.2 million. There was a top 50 whale. I guess this is his thing, his address. This guy tracked a couple addresses, actually. I don't know. And I don't know if was this all 4 of his addresses or just multiple addresses that equated up to 736,000? I wasn't too sure about that, but whether this guy's his whale, he was a seed investor into ICP or something. He just transferred it because he saw the price going down with all the FUD and he just wants to sell a little bit off thinking the prices go down, or he's just got so much ICP. He just doesn't really care. Just wants to make a little bit of profit, because if you think about it, all the guys that were seed investors got in super early, super cheap. Maybe he's just sending a small bag to him, 10 million, whatever, to sell off. And that's why we've seen the price, a little bit lower for ICP.
That might have been Binance's wallet that they used to store ICP.
Mm-hmm.
So they could have been making some moves internally to, because I feel like a lot of these crypto blockchains, like they'll have a wallet that, serves the purpose of, day-to-day operations, and eventually there's going to be demand for all these coins to the point where they just need to fill it back up like you fill up your tank of gas. So they might have like another storage tank wallet that's full of ICP or whatever your crypto is. And
Binance you're talking about, right?
Right, exactly.
Yeah, that's the other thing. I don't know. Like, is there? I'm not that.
They've been running out on Coinbase, a couple other exchanges too. Like Coinbase had been in Binance, like during especially like the last couple pumps. Like, they've been running out.
Like I've been talking about this, and this is the only data.
Crazy.
I don't know where else. I guess unless you search the blockchain, like Fran at ICP, go give him a follow. He's been deep diving a lot of this stuff. Maybe I'll message him and ask him. But I've been using Delia Capital, and I'm assuming that they pull that from the blockchain as well. But this actually just updated real time. I haven't talked about this. So we had that net flow increase to all exchanges, about 703,000 ICP, and it looks like we just recently, as of today, had a net flow about negative 126,000 ICP on all exchanges. So let's look at the 4 exchanges that they have on here and see where that net flow came out of. So Coinbase,
this is cool.
Net flow, they only had 2,231 on the 11th of January. They had about 33,000 inflow of ICP today. Binance. So Binance had that 763,000 net flow coming in to Binance, and it looks like they had 147,000 outflow. So I don't know if that means that they sold or they're just people that, bought and then moved it off into a cold wallet or non-custodial.
That would be my thought.
Yeah. So now they have 1.1. So yeah, they had that giant influx you guys can see here because we've been in a pretty much a decline of ICP. I mean, since the December 19th, kind of went up and down, but just
People are
recently,
buying the dip.
yeah. And then here's on Kraken. That was Binance. Where's Coinbase? Oh, okay, yeah. Coinbase, yeah, went up a little bit. Binance down a little bit from yesterday, and Kraken outflow of about 21,000, and OKX down about 3,500 ICP. So that's the only four that Dahlia Capital's been tracking. But overall, with the total balance has been on the decline with that massive inflow, about 703,000 ICP come to Binance.
Interesting.
Let me look at the comments. Yeah, I don't know what that means, but I think that's about it I have for ICP. There was this article that Definity posted on their Twitter/X a little bit earlier today about just a general overview, the 2023 things that have happened. And it's a very good article if you're new to ICP or you want to learn about just everything that happened over the last year, from developer growth, hardware upgrades. They got charts, data that you guys can view. I'm not going to get into all this tokenomics, ICP in the wild, grants, just a whole slew of different things. It's like a 13-minute read article. And then it even gets into what's to come for 2024. Just a whole bunch of different stuff. So if you guys are new into ICP, you're coming from Multiverse X, I'm going to throw this in the comments section. I highly suggest giving this article a read. Not financial advice. Take it with a grain of salt. I'm not a maxi. I'm not a grant. I don't take a paid grant from ICP or anything, but check it out. And then the ICP charts. Let's do that. Let's end it with that. We're an hour in, but again, it looks like a lot of like the total crypto market cap. We got the Bitcoin charts. There's a kind of a channel it's been moving in right now. And I have this bottom trend line for ICP right now. It's kind of been using this as a nice support trend line, even though we dipped below a little bit here. And then now we're just touching, respect the TA. Let me zoom in on that right here, at least on the 4-hour chart. We are right on that trend line. We wicked way below it down to about $11.81, but we're currently at $12.50. That looks like this is the current support for ICP. What are you looking at right now for ICP?
Let me share my screen. Are you sharing it right now?
Yep.
So this is what we got going on here with ICP, in my opinion. Things are very hinged right now, in my own opinion, personally, and not financial trading advice. Must get that out of the way. But really, when it comes down to it, I am keeping my eye on a few things. There could be this potential head and shoulders that could be playing out. Whether we see this happen or not is anyone's guess. But I would love to see ICP not trade any lower than like $11.50, something like that. We're looking at the 8-hour chart. It is what it is. And this is kind of what I'm seeing right now. Price action is still kind of way up above this 200 moving average on the 8-hour chart. And the 50 moving average is kind of like chilling there as well. So, man, let's just look at this on the daily. I've been kind of talking about for like the last week now, especially as price was ripping up this way. It was just way too far away from this cloud. And what we are seeing here is really this symmetrical triangle squeeze. Oh, excuse me. What we are seeing is this symmetrical triangle squeeze that is happening. So, I'm expecting to see ICP maybe kind of trade possibly down to like this $11.50, 40 cent-ish level. I would like to see this 50 moving average come up, and I would like to just see this thing kind of do one of these. But there's also some danger that is lurking in the background, and really the one thing that I'm seeing, like, just it's kind of very similar to like the TA that I was doing on Bitcoin. only this is like a little bit more true. We could be seeing somewhat of a potential Gartley pattern here. Obviously, like when I throw up an XABCD pattern, we are looking for price action basically to not go any lower than the 786, but we need it to wick the 61.8 or kind of land right in this area. And when it comes down to it, we have confirmation that, hey, point B is valid. Now, the thing that I'll look at next is I'll look at the top, so point A, and what I'll do is draw an extension all the way down to the level of X here, and I am looking for price action, basically it can go up as high as point A, but not higher. But what I'm looking for here is for it to at least wick the 61.8. So right now on this right shoulder of C, in my own opinion, there is this harmonic pattern that is playing out with ICP, and it's just kind of one of these things that makes sense to me. We've had an incredible. Let me point this out to you guys too. It's kind of hard to tell where some of these impulse waves are, but I could argue that this could be point 0 to 1 to 2. You could easily argue that this is point 2 to 3, and that this could be point 4 to 5. I think everybody would agree with the sentiment from 2 to 5. And I do think this, folks, that we are in the midst of seeing this corrective wave, whether it be in an A, B, C fashion or DE fashion. So where this lands is anyone's guess, but just by judging off what we are looking at with ICP right at this second, it would be my guess, and that's all I am, is that guesser, is that we see this 200 moving average kind of float up like this. And I do think that the point we are looking for as far as like this bullish Gartley or bullish butterfly harmonic pattern is retracement from point A to point basically, yeah, this would be point B to point A, because this would be X, A, B, so B to A. So we'll throw up our retracement, and we're going to get rid of this. And so, yeah, I would think that this thing would come down maybe to this 127, guys, like $8, $8.66. This isn't financial or trading advice, but
I mean, if the rest of the market, what's the time frame for that? Is that like leading out to the Bitcoin halving in April? Like, would you? Because if the rest of the market goes down, I could totally see that. Oh, okay.
This is the next couple of weeks. Just based off this little formation here and what we're dealing with right now, maybe we won't see that hard line down to this level, but maybe this $11.48 level. I mean, guys, the thing we're dealing with here is like this could go one of two ways. It could go A, B, C corrective wave, or it could go like D, E. We could see this 50 moving average curve like this, and do like one of these things. This is one of those things where we need to be careful with how we trade the next week or two. We need to just keep an eye on this, because when I start seeing this stuff, I get edgy and I don't trade. I just stay out of it.
Gotcha.
But you could also make the argument though, like, well, here on the weekly chart, like if you just ask me, this price action is just too far away from the Ichimoku cloud. As much as I want ICP and the price to go up, especially on the weekly, the price is just too far from the cloud.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it is what it is. This thing has had green weeks since October.
Yeah.
So like it needs to breathe a little bit.
Yeah.
It needs to cool off. Yeah.
It needs to cool off for what, 2 more months, and then, or 2 or 3 months, I'd say, and then go with the Bitcoin halving, hopefully.
Yeah. And I mean, like, even if we do get some sort of run, or excuse me, some sort of bump to the downside, we might be gearing up to see some crazy inverse head and shoulders to ride us up to that next level. And I do think like the next target I have for this ICP is really at like this $22-ish level. And I say this just by throwing up an extension off this area here. But 236, right around $22.84, somewhere in this neighborhood. But yeah, price has got to chill. It can't go up too quick.
Gotcha.
It can go down quick, but going up is a different story.
Yeah.
That's my thoughts on ICP right now.
Nice. All right. Got a lot of commotion in the comments about some S coin. Well, to Obi, everything's an S coin, but I get it. But someone was talking about some military contracting coin, DAG or something. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I know the guy. I think I follow the guy that does DAG. There's some DAG influencer that I follow. He's always talking about. I know nothing about it.
Yeah. Obi, let's do one for Obi. And I actually follow it. MicroStrategy, Michael Saylor. Have you ever done the stock MicroStrategy?
No, I don't even know what the ticker is.
MSTR. That's basically, Michael Saylor's company. It moves with Bitcoin, but
okay.
That'd be interesting. And then he mentioned NVIDIA stock.
Yeah, okay.
It apparently did really well. Made new highs this week.
Oh yeah, okay. Yeah, let's check him up. I got the MicroStrategy. I'm interested in this as well. Because Saylor has been sailing away here.
I'm gonna be right back. I'm gonna use the restroom while you do that real quick.
Okay. So here we go. MicroStrategy. I'm bullish on MicroStrategy. Michael Saylor. I just feel like, with Michael Saylor, he's kind of like this renegade that sees the bigger picture. So what I really want to do, since this is my first time ever looking at this chart, we're going to start off on the weekly, and I just need to do this because I need to see where things are at as far as like the GON fans and things like that are concerned. There could be some important points that we need to just check out. So bear with me. And I do think that Saylor is very misunderstood by like 99% of Wall Street. I feel like whenever Saylor comes on and starts talking about Bitcoin and stuff like that, I feel like he is just kind of like one of these people that just doesn't give a crap. And he is just out there because, he believes in what he believes in. So for MicroStrategy, we got the GON fans hot, ready to go. And I just need to go back and look at this at a super high level to make sure that price action is interacting with these GON fans. And so on the daily charts, we can see that there's some resistance in here. There's some support in here. You can see it just being supported and resisting. This looks like a good relationship between GON fan lines and price action. So I think I'm satisfied with what I'm seeing. So right now, you can see that as of recently, within the last couple of years, there has been some respect between price action and these GON fan lines. You can see all these examples of support and resistance. Here's a whole bunch of resistance. Things broke through. Now, I do think that we could see MicroStrategy. Hey, this thing could be. I'm seeing a couple things happen here. Obviously, GON fans aren't 100% bulletproof. TA is not 100% bulletproof. But right now, I am thinking that there could be this move with MicroStrategy up to like $800, somewhere in there. There could be a test of these levels right in here. And one thing I'm curious to see, I can tell you right now, like, when I look at this, like, I think a little bit harmonically, but I can tell like there's no harmonic pattern that is present. Doesn't mean like it's not there, but Like I can tell you guys right now that this is going to break the 786, like by a long shot. So like I'm not seeing like any XABCD harmonic patterns here, but what I am seeing, especially if we could get price action, let's just do this. Let's just throw this right like that. So we can see that there's hard resistance right here. Well, the one thing that I'm noticing right out of the gates, guys, is that if price action comes up to this area, we'll have the beginning of a very nice, possibly, maybe cup and handle formation here that could take place. So with that said, I think like this thing has this capability to get back up to these $800 levels, but there is this one thing that's kind of looming that I am seeing, and that is a rising wedge. Well, God dang, this is more of a channel.
Yeah,
I was gonna say this kind of looked like a rising wedge at first, but now that I draw the lines out, this looks like a channel.
Hey, is there a way to make a proper channel? The other guy that I follow that does TA, he does like a heart line, like a red dash. Is there something within TradingView that I don't know how to use where you can like make you can actually plot a
Probably
legit, like a real channel with a heart line, if that makes sense.
Is this it?
No.
I can tell you guys one thing. It's common knowledge out there. It's a good hidden secret, but the markets move at 45-degree angles, like in a lot of cases. So here's an example of the markets like bouncing off a 45-degree angle. This is an interesting situation here. But I would really like to throw up a Fibonacci channel on this for sure, because this is an interesting play, to say the least.
And then Obi said something about MicroStrategy before August 2020 doesn't matter. That's when they started Bitcoin Treasury. Software business traded around 150 a share before that.
Yeah.
Oh, is that why the big spike happened right there? I guess.
Sure.
Yeah.
And it's interesting to see, like, when we throw up a Fibonacci channel, price kind of ripped right up to the 161.8. I tried again at the 141. Here it is at the 50%.
Wow.
This would be the 141.
It aligns perfectly. That's
it's crazy. So yeah, I mean, right now this thing's hanging up, and this is the weekly chart. So we do have a golden cross that's about to happen potentially on the weekly chart. Now, a lot of people automatically assume that golden crosses can be good, but in my experience, a golden cross and a death cross have a 50-50 chance at giving the results that you think they're going to give. Obviously, you hear the word golden cross, you feel like you just opened up a Happy Meal as a kid. Here's an example of a death cross where basically damn near shortly after the price reversed. Here's a perfect example of a golden cross. Price was well underway, but I mean the thing took off even more. This is the weekly chart. So I mean, it just kind of is what it is. Here's a death cross again, just to my point. Like, they're just so unpredictable what you're gonna get out of a death cross or a golden cross. Here's a death cross. You think the worst is gonna happen. Well, what happened? The freaking thing took off. Here's an example of a golden cross where it just took off. So I mean, it is what it is. I'm hoping that we see this thing. This thing's been taking off for a while. So my opinion on this, for the weekly, like, this thing's been doing really well. Exactly. Yeah. Thorazine 007. Yes, they do.
Yeah.
And especially like on the smaller time frame charts, like the 15-minute, 1 hour, 4 hour, there's golden crosses and death crosses like every day. But I do think like the price action here on the weekly might be a little bit too far from the cloud. There might be some sort of Elliott wave theory momentum to the upside. So I'd like to see this 50 just climb like that, and just maybe see this price pull off like a bull pennant or something like that. And I want to see this thing. And it's interestingly enough, like, man,
Yeah.
I'd
Here's
like
a
to see
deep
this thing.
here's a deep question. All the technical analysis that you do and all the different charts for all these different things, you know, you think of Fibonacci and everything. And I noticed on the weekly, at least the last couple of charts that you've been doing, have you noticed the price action pretty far away from the Ichimoku cloud on the weeklies? So
In crypto,
is that kind of
yes.
like an overall consensus that you think the market's in for a little correction overall through traditional markets, crypto, whatever, just looking at,
Yeah.
you know, technical analysis?
Yeah, whenever I see stuff like, here's an example. Let's pretend that everything east of this doesn't exist except for this green Ichimoku cloud. And so what I think here is, you know, when we see this price get way out here, you know, and we start to see this Ichimoku cloud start to crest, you know, that's kind of like where I'm like, you know what, I'm getting, you know, getting uncomfortable with my situation. If I'm in a trade, I'll ride this thing up. You know, to be honest with you, if I would have bought in like down here, I would have been probably out right in here, and maybe would have tried to make a couple trades in this here. But you know, there is just this this relationship between price action and this cloud. And think of the cloud as like a spaceship that just has these contractor beams at all times on the price action. You know, it's just going to reel the price back in. In this case, you know, there was, you could argue, maybe a bull flag, and this is a beautiful example of a bull flag.
Yeah.
You got the flag pull. Also, you know, right in here, you know, whenever this is how I use, I don't try to catch falling knives all the time, but sometimes it is so insanely evident that you are in a position where you can catch a falling knife. Like if I'm seeing price action like down in here, and the price, you know, we're this far away from the Ichimoku cloud, I know people are going to buy the dip and we're going to start ripping back upwards. It's like when you see this price action, this is what I use the Ichimoku cloud for absolutely the most. And here's a great example of an A, B, C, D, E corrective wave. And that's kind of what I'm thinking was going to possibly happen. What was it with ICP? Oh, Opie bought that. That a boy. That a boy. Yeah.
Nice.
Nice move. So yeah, you know, I'm bullish on MicroStrategy. I think there's still a long way for it to go, especially going into like another. If we're going into a bull run,
Yeah.
I
You got to
mean,
think of it because this kind of moves with Bitcoin now.
exactly
And
right.
it's same as the spot Bitcoin ETFs that are coming out. That's why he said that.
Exactly.
Because I think, what did he say?
Exactly.
But yeah,
They want, you know, all these companies, they want to liquidate Sailor. I don't know if it's gonna happen. This dude has been like an iron horse this whole entire time.
what's
I
his
know
famous
Sam.
meme? There is nothing better than Bitcoin.
Yeah,
It's just Bitcoin only. That's like his famous thing. I love it.
that's funny. I mean, on the
There's
weekly,
not,
this thing's sitting at like, well, this thing's only sitting at what, 62 points? Oh shit, yeah, this thing's got room to run. 62 points on the RSI. So yeah, that's great. This thing's
so
ready to
there's
go.
still room to rip, even though
Oh
it's that
yeah.
far away.
Well, you know, it might take a week or two to, you know, we might see some sort of flag or some sort of symmetrical triangle like this. If you see some sort of symmetrical triangle play out on this thing, you're damn right this thing's going back up.
Gotcha.
And there's an interesting thing that I'm also seeing here, and this is, you know, whenever I do technical analysis, I always make it a point to really try to forward think, like, what does 1/4 of you know, a cup and handle look like? What does like a third of a cup and, you know, cup and handle look like? What does half of an inverse head and shoulders look like? You know, so like part of my deal is I am super mental when it comes to just trying to identify some of these patterns early, things like that. And whoa, I accidentally misplaced one of my markers here. But you know what we might be seeing here is something like this occurring with MicroStrategy. So there might be an opportunity to maybe buy a little bit of a dip here going forward. Obviously, I think like with the most recent news with these ETFs and like Bitcoin is pretty bullish in general right now. I mean, you can see that like this is a big wick. I mean, this is a 16% wick. People are buying that dip. So I mean, if you could maybe, and let's just say like this thing, let's just say for argument's sake that we get a bull flag, or something like this occurs, right? So we'll see price kind of do one of these. The 50 moving average catches up.
Yeah, that's
and then
exactly
we
what it looks like
see,
it's gonna do.
yeah, exactly. So you might be able to set some. You might be able to set a few different. Right now, the price was at $563. So you see a lot of like up here where it says 485. That's just like Wall Street pinning the price at the close. Like you see like all these crazy bid and ask prices once the markets close, typically. And they do that intentionally, so no crazy big trades happen after hours and things like that. So yeah, I mean, right now we're trading at 563 on this thing. There might be an opportunity to buy something at like 495. I mean,
But you're not going to make the massive gains like you do in our degen crypto space. That's the thing. I mean, I don't know.
Unless you get some option contracts.
Yeah,
that's your only way.
I'm not the stock trader, but
yeah. So I mean, MicroStrategy, I'm bullish on it right now just by looking at what I'm seeing, especially going into like maybe first quarter, second quarter of this year. I think that's going to be the point where we start to see this thing really start to rip. And I think this thing, like you said, will possibly move with Bitcoin in the crypto markets in general.
Definitely. All right, I got one more thing I want to share with you guys. And Obi mentioned about the NVIDIA stock.
Yeah.
Apparently hit all-time highs. I'm going to share with you something.
Hey,
6 figs if you want to pull up the charts. But I messaged you about this the other day about at the what is it, the tech conference or whatever they have, the new NVIDIA GPUs that they announced.
Oh yeah.
But here's a quick article. Their newest chips are designed to run AI at home as competition from Intel and AMD. So they're trying to get a little bit better than Intel, AMD, and they have these new badass, like, I guess, GPUs that they're launching, are crypto mining and stuff. People might buy these up because GPU mining might come back. Like there's CPU mining, GPU mining. But apparently NVIDIA is playing up its strength in consumer GPUs for so-called local AI that can run on a PC or laptop from home or an office. The chips have long been NVIDIA's bread and butter aimed at running video games, but the company says this year's graphics cards have been improved with the eye toward running AI models without sending information back to the cloud. The new chip can be used to generate images in Adobe Photoshop's Firefly generator, move backgrounds in video calls, even make games that use AI to generate dialogue, dude. But like AI everything has been becoming insane. But yeah, they announced 3 new graphics cards on Monday. Blah blah blah. RTX. They just keep making names different. But cards additional tensor cores designed to run generative AI applications. NVIDIA will also provide graphics cards and laptops from companies such as Acer, Dell, and Lenovo. So yeah, they've been around for a while, and they just announced this with the AI, jumping on the AI bandwagon. I'm not going to go through the whole article, but yeah, apparently NVIDIA has been blown up lately. What do you think about them? Are you in any of the NVIDIA stock or anything?
No, I'm not. I'm not really in much of the traditional stock market much, but yeah, NVIDIA, I'm looking at the chart and it's
pull them up
absolutely killing it right now. I mean, on the weekly, let's look at the daily. Daily's a little bit overbought at about 76 points, but I think there's a little bit of room to still run there. Man, overall, It does a man. You see a little inverse head and shoulders, ascending triangle that ripped off here. There might be something here actually.
Oh yeah, that was. I couldn't think of the name. Obi just said CES is happening in Vegas right now. NVIDIA and Tesla should dominate AI chips.
okay.
Yeah, the CES. I've always wanted to go to one of those in Vegas. Have you ever? You've heard of CES? It's like
I've
the
never
biggest
heard of that.
Really? Yeah,
No.
it happens every year. It's like one of the biggest like tech conventions, like up and coming.
Okay.
I don't know. There's a whole bunch of stuff with like technology, AI, VR, a whole bunch of stuff.
Oh yeah, that'd be sweet. There is a little bit of an ascending triangle here, but it's not like, I mean, I guess you could make the argument it's not like that big. So, I mean, I don't know. This price action here with NVIDIA, on the daily, it's kind of getting into that overbought range, but kind of not. Like, let's just look at this here. I'd expect this thing to maybe test the waters of the golden ratio, $572, quite possibly. But if we see any sideways trading happen or any rejections at like this $550 level for more than like a couple weeks, like more than like a week or two, I do think like there could be this possibility where we might be able to see, because you can kind of see like this trend right in here, and you can kind of see maybe the start of a rising wedge. Yep. So this thing might kind of do one of these things where it just pumps up, or maybe it'll come down and then pump up.
Yeah, it's ripping for CES,
Yeah.
the Consumer Electronics Show. Obi said it. Yeah, I keep forgetting the name.
Yeah. So this would be something to keep your eye on if you're into it. At this point in time, I mean, this, to me, I think this thing is going to make a run for this 572. It's too close not to. Price action on this daily, though, I mean, it's kind of far away from this cloud. So, I mean, we might see this little sideways trend, and we might see a falling wedge or something like that within this rising wedge. And there might be a shot at this 572 area. Personally, that's the area I would target and try to get out at. And then I would wait to buy back in, because it just, unless something happens where we see NVIDIA go crazy and then it actually straightens out a rising wedge into a channel, if we see something like this, okay, this thing's going to keep climbing. But we're just kind of in this sensitive position right now.
So here's the thing with traditional markets. Like looking at the charts from the traditional markets, the stock markets compared to crypto, isn't it easily predictable as a TA expert? Because the markets, they're not as volatile. That's the thing. Like what do the traditional markets usually move on? The traditional stocks, they move on earnings. They move on tech show, like depending on what it is. Like there's a tech show. Oh, this hot new product is coming out with NVIDIA. It's pumping. It's just crazy. Like the graph and the lines, everything is like kind of predictable, up and down, like up and like. But when you look at crypto, I feel like it's a little bit different, and you can't really predict it. But is it easier to predict traditional market moves and plays because you're either going to move on earnings, like I said, or whatever your stock or company you're looking in, you're going to know as long as you're invested into it. I hope you know what your company that you're invested in is about is going to move. So if you know all the TA that it's easy to make a trade based on that, right?
Yeah, I mean, like, there's a lot of similarities between like this traditional stock markets and crypto. I think like crypto is just a little bit more volatile, but like, like when you're looking at the stock markets, you're focusing on it, like earnings. You're focusing on like upcoming products that are getting released. You're focused on like all these unannounced products that could potentially get released. Like if there's rumors that something is being built but not public yet. Like, for example, DJI, the company that does drones, there's always a release, of some speculative sketch on like the next gen drone or something like that. And then
Yeah, it's that
magically a year,
one guy on Twitter that we follow.
exactly. And
He
then
always leaks it.
magically a year later, the thing's out, So I mean,
Yeah.
it's just, stuff like that. I mean, obviously like crypto, like, yeah, they're building different products for their blockchain and stuff like that. So there's things to look forward to. And then there's like things that you just get like completely basically blinded by, tongue tied here. Things you get blindsided by that maybe they'll just create something that kicks ass and release it, and then people go wild and crazy.
So here's the question though, like your technical analysis, all TA is supposed to be the same regardless of whatever you're looking at. But compared to the traditional markets and stock markets to your crypto, do you find that that your trades are better with the traditional stock market, or is it crypto?
My trades are a lot faster with crypto. I make a lot more money in a shorter amount of time with crypto.
But it's still it's kind of the same concept when you're doing it.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there's nothing that can, these natural forces that impact the financial markets, they're just, they're seen everywhere. It doesn't matter if it's crypto or, options trading or futures trading or just regular, stock markets. I mean, a lot of these patterns that you see in the charts and things like that, like there's actually like evidence that they exist like out in nature. Like, when you start talking about like Fibonacci, like especially when it comes to the spiral, what's interesting is like you can throw a Fibonacci spiral on a chart and it will basically align with like a snail shell. Like the spiral in a snail shell. It's like the exact same geometrics, everything.
Yeah, it's crazy because then
also and then like a galaxy that's 200 million light years away. It'll be the same Fibonacci spiral. So I mean, there's just like a lot of these, like I don't know, I don't want to say supernatural. I want to say like natural forces that are just like kind of beating down on everything.
You got to join our conspiracy channel on our Signal group, because then you start getting into the conspiracy stuff about life and spirituality and how how life moves on wavelengths and rhythms, and it could get so deep and critically thinking and stuff. But yeah, technical analysis is all a part of that, and Fibonacci and everything. But
I'm a Buddhist.
I love it, dude. I love it. I mean, nowadays it's hard, like with the current generation growing up and stuff, like all they do is watch is like TikToks and videos, and they have short attention spans, and then there's no critically thinking anymore. It's just whatever they see on their phone or whatever, that's what they believe in. How about aliens? I'm not gonna get into that. You guys can
hey, I'll tell you guys some stories I got alien stories that I've experienced. We're gonna go down the deep rabbit hole.
My stuff's gonna get demonetized then.
No, let's talk about how aliens were at the January 6th Trump rally.
No,
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
I'm
just kidding. That. No, but I'll tell you guys this one story. I swear this is true. I'm not making this up. There was one time, it was during the middle of winter. I was a security guard for like 5 years, and basically I lived way out in the countryside, and like there's no lights on the highways. It's complete. Once you get like out there, it's like an hour out of the cities. Like once you get out there, the only light there is coming from your headlights. Like it's like cornfields and stuff. And there was one winter, and I was coming home, and I'll never forget it. All of a sudden, I round this corner, and I remember this exact same spot. It was crazy. I've never seen anything else like this, even to this day. Well, I saw another example of it several years later with my friend. But I saw this triangle, dude. I swear to God, it was half the size of a football field. And it was like this perfect black triangle. And all along the edges were these lights that just were shining down. I've never seen anything like this that close ever since in my life. But what was crazy was you know, it was just me out there on this lone highway, and this thing was off in a cornfield, and it was up about 100 yards off the ground.
Was it a B-52 or
No,
a stealth B2 or whatever the heck? Yeah, there's like a stealth, one of those stealth B2s.
no, this was like 100 yards
triangle.
off the ground. Yeah, this is like 100 feet off the ground.
Yeah, it was like 400 or 500 feet off the ground, like probably like 500-600 feet.
Yeah, but the thing was, like,
I'm gonna throw some military stuff in.
Well,
here.
no. Listen to me. So I remember I rolled down my window. It was completely silent, and this thing was staying put in one spot. It wasn't moving anywhere. And so all of a sudden, I'm like, I had the T-Mobile Peanut phone, and I was going to try to take a shitty picture of this thing. And this was like 10, 15 years ago. Well, let's see. This would have been in 2000, anywhere from 2005 to 2010. So cell phone tech, you know, this is 15, 20 years ago. And so I pull a Yui on the freeway or on the highway. And when I did that, dude, the thing was gone. Not a sound. I had my window. It was the most eerie thing that I've ever felt in my life. Crazy. Oh man, that was crazy. But I know about like the B-52s, stuff like that.
No, I was trying to pull up a video. There's a US B-2 stealth plane that when I was in Ranger school, it flew over I was in the woods in Georgia, and it flew over, and it was like low pass. It was like maybe 1,000 feet. That's like the lowest a B-2 stealth bomber can fly. But we heard the like like that noise, and it was just like, what the heck was that? But we were at an Air Force base at the time, like near an Air Force base, so it wasn't a spaceship. But that's the first thing I thought of.
Oh yeah. This thing stayed like put because I like slowed down. I was like, it's silent, completely silent. To this day, I'd never seen anything like it, dude. And the lights on it, they weren't like regular lights, too. They were like, if you ever seen like those halogen lights, like these things kind of had like this weird. It's hard to describe, but almost like if you took a halogen light and like tie-dyed it almost. It was just weird. And it was like a perfect bead of them along one side, and then on the other side there was another bead, and then on the back side there was nothing. So it was the strangest thing I've ever seen in my life that I don't have an explanation to. But yeah, it was wild, man. And then you know, and this is way out in the hillbilly country area, and you know, I hadn't been drinking, didn't do drugs or anything like that. Like, I was coming home from work, like, and then there was another time, like, you know, Joe, we were on our way to the bowling alley, and dude, it was like midday, and this was like 5 years later, and I had told him this story before. And dude, we saw like 3 of these things, and they were up like, you know, I don't know, half mile up, and these things were cooking, and they made what looked like a 90-degree turn or very close to it, and they were like boom, boom, and they were gone. And like I said, Joe, did you see that? And he's like, yeah, dude, that was wild. I said those, and they were those triangle things again, dude. Like,
yep. You can look into that.
I don't know. That's what I've seen.
Not to dox your location, but you're like in the Midwest, like Wisconsin, Minnesota area. There's a lot of UFO activity out there, from what I hear. And like,
I've lived out there for a long time. Those are the only 2 things I've ever seen that I've questioned. And to this day, I haven't seen anything like that in 15 years. It's crazy. It was just, you know, that span of 5 years, like I saw it. And like I know
the only time, like, I haven't really seen anything crazy. When I drove to work one day when I was in Florida, I drove on 95 North, and I saw this big giant green like asteroid, and it lit up the sky. I don't know, a meteor or something. Apparently it was space junk, but it was the weirdest thing I've ever seen in my life. It's one of those memories, but like it was like super fast across the sky. It was green, everything lit up, and I looked it up. It was like, they said it was like a satellite, like a space junk or something.
Wow.
The crazy thing was when I was in Ranger school in North Georgia, and we had night vision goggles on. So when North Georgia, there's no cities except you got Atlanta, but we were farther away from Atlanta. So it was like you could see space, everything.
Hmm.
And like we'd be out on patrols, and then like we would just have to pull security, 360 degree security, and we'd look up. I'd look up in the sky and just look
Yeah.
because you could see everything. You could see millions of stars. You could see
Satellites.
aircraft, and then all of a sudden, like I remember looking up one time and I'm seeing what you're talking about, like things that would like weird shit that would just move like this fast. Like if you were to look up in the sky right now, it was
crazy.
nighttime, move super fast, or things would just zip around like this, and then
That's
just
crazy.
disappear with
Wow.
night vision. Like, so if you guys, have you ever had night vision on? Like anyone who's ever had
Yeah.
night vision on, or like been in pitch darkness, just look at the sky. You see shooting stars happen all the time, like just, but like
Yeah.
just weird stuff. I remember like that.
Yeah, I've got night vision. I haven't used it in years. Battery's probably shot.
PVS 14s, I think we used. PVS, yeah. You could buy them on eBay nowadays for a couple thousand, I think.
Yeah.
But
all that stolen military surplus.
yeah, not me. I don't have any, but yeah, there's guys I remember back in the day used to do that.
Obi-Wan said that camera on the T-Mobile Peanut was 2 megapixels. Holy cow! See, I knew it was a crappy thing, but dude, I was like, I'm taking a picture of that thing, and the dude, as soon as I turned the car around, like I had rolled down the windows, everything, I didn't even hear the thing leave. Like as soon as I turned the car around, it was just gone. It was just, it's never. I'm speechless to this day on that. It's just, one of the most incredible experiences I've had in my life. It was crazy.
All right, guys. Well, we're coming up on an hour and 46 minutes. Great conversation. We're getting a little off topic, but shout out to you, 13 people still watching. We've had a pretty decent, small crowd listening in the whole night, so appreciate you guys. But yeah, man, I got the next 10 days off. I'm transitioning to another job. Nice. So I'm hoping to go live and do at least a video a day the next 10 days. And then my next schedule should be, I should have Friday, Saturday, and Sundays off. So hoping to do at least a Friday every night moving forward. And then I don't know. It's gonna be crazy the next year and a half with the bull run and everything. So I definitely appreciate you coming on tonight, last minute.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, man, it was great. Thanks for having me. I always down to come on here and cause chaos.
Tell us how the new car is, Any Mods. Oh man, dude, Obi loves to just drag on my streams, man. He's always like, even when he comes on my show sometimes. New car. So yeah, so real quickly, I did get a 2011
Prius.
No. I bought a beater car, 2011 Honda Civic SI. So brings me back to my old high school days. It's a K20 Z3 motor, revs out to 8,000 RPMs. It's only got 83,000 miles on it. One owner, the guy was 60 years old. So it's like mint condition. There's no issues with it. Nothing, no modifications. The only thing that I just did to it is I put tinted windows on it right now.
Mm-hmm.
The best tinted windows you can get, ceramic. It was like no one dropped that phone. $600 for like tinted windows, but it was like the best tinted windows that they put on Lamborghinis and everything. But like now that I'm older, am I trying to relive my high school days? I got some money, but I want to like build this car up just to be like a perfect, like fast daily driver. And we talked about this on my last stream, but no, next thing I want to do is the suspension. Okay. The suspension and shocks, it's really rough, I've noticed. And that's a common thing with this generation of the Civic is, wow. Shout out to Thorzane. Thanks for the 12 random dollars towards the end. ICP. Yeah. I will buy it after this. Thanks, definitely will. Appreciate that random, donation towards the end. But yeah, dude, it's doing well. It's running good. Like I said, 83,000 miles. I got a lot of highway miles I'll be doing. So, but yeah, I'm going to do stock suspension, lower it, I think like an inch, half inch in the back. I got a new head unit I showed you guys that I got to get installed. There's a whole bunch of stuff I want to do motor wise, but yeah, it's fun. You still got, I don't know. You want to dox your car. You've had like the same vehicle for a while now. It's been running like a champ, right?
Who, me?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I drive a Tahoe.
You still have that thing?
I still got it, man. The thing doesn't leak a drop of oil. doesn't leak a drop of nothing, dude. It doesn't even burn any oil. Like secretly, like in the back of my head, I'm like, please freaking break down. I need a new truck. But this
What
thing
year is
is
it?
was it 2010?
And
So it's a 14-year-old truck. Like it's one of those vehicles where the body will rust out before the engine gives out. I just know it. But like, you know, I haven't had a car payment in 10 years on it. So it's like I just have no reason to kind of get rid of it. You know, I don't drive a
yeah,
whole lot. I go to the office twice a week. So like I don't my next vehicle though, you know, once this breaks down, kind of speaking of that childhood dream, um, like you had mentioned with the Civic and stuff like that. My next vehicle is going to be definitely a Hummer H1 for sure.
really.
Oh yeah, I've always wanted one. Part of that reason into like, I know there's like a lot of safe vehicles and stuff like that, but I was in a very bad car accident like when I was about 22, somewhere in there. Like I almost got killed. I was like, dude, it was bad. I
Mhm.
probably shouldn't even be here, but somehow survived. And I mean, it took me years before I could even like walk right again or even like jog, like literally 3 to 5 years before I could even jog on a treadmill. It was
Yeah, I
stupid.
remember.
But
Tell me about that.
since that, so ever since that crash, I've had big vehicles like Tahoes, Suburbans.
Obi made a good comment. The new Hummer EVs. Have you seen those?
Those are cool. A
I've
little
never
bit out
seen
of my
those.
price range, but they are sick.
But with the bull
Um,
run, though, he said that if
hey,
you were
you
to
know
take
what?
profits, are you going to get?
Okay.
I think he
Yeah.
said the new Corvette, or would it be the Hummer EV you got
Yeah,
to look
we'll
into?
see. We'll see.
That would be nice. What a story!
I've always just loved that classic Hummer one diesel. You know, it looks like a brick shit house. You know, but yeah, the Corvette C8 is definitely a vehicle. You know, I kind of got like this $100,000 car policy where I don't want my vehicles to exceed like
Yeah,
100K. So like my wife's got a $30,000 SUV. That leaves me with a little bit of room here to maybe do like 70K or something like that. So maybe, you know, I don't know.
but just be surprised, man. Me, the last bull run, I could have had a couple Lambos, but we're not going to
Oh
discuss
man.
that one. But
Oh
you know, the
man.
bull run can surprise
Mm,
you. I'm gonna
yeah.
leave it at that. But for this next bull run, for me, a lot smarter than the previous bull run.
Yeah.
Nissan GTR, I think, is gonna be what I'm
Oh,
gonna get for my new toy. And you know, I
smooth.
could afford one now, but it would have lots of miles, and I don't want it as a daily. But
Yeah.
for the next bull run,
Dude.
I want to buy a newer GTR and just
Yeah.
mod the crap out of it. If
Mm.
if crazy bull run, Lamborghini Huracan, that's it.
Mm-hmm.
Like Lamborghini
Yeah.
Huracan, Nissan GTR, maybe an older Supra. I like the 2JZ, like 94,
Mm-hmm.
95 Toyota Supras. And that's it. Like that, nothing. I don't know. I'm pretty simple. I'm a big
Yeah.
import sports car type of guy.
Yeah. Yeah. Those GTRs, man, are just crazy.
Yeah.
700-800 horsepower or whatever they got. It's just wild.
Yeah. All right, guys. That's gonna do it. If you guys are into cars and stuff, well, I'm not gonna show my other channel yet. I gotta build
Tune
that one
into
up.
us in 6 months to a year.
Give us about a year from now. But yeah, man, because I wanted to start like documenting the Civic thing, but it's just I don't have the time at this point, like
Yeah.
to do it because I had a 10th generation Civic Si 2018, and I was doing like every little modification I did to it, do it yourself, fog lights, headlights,
I remember that.
shifter
That was
cables, and they got thousands of views, man. It was
yeah.
pretty crazy, surprisingly. It was fun. It's just, you know, gotta have hobbies. It's
Right.
I don't just have crypto as my like main thing. Like I got other
Yeah.
things that I like. I love food, craft beer, sports
Right.
cars, whatever. But yeah, we'll get into that. Well, next 2 years will be crazy, so we'll talk about that more. But appreciate you guys tuning in tonight. If you still made it to the end of this video, smash that thumbs up button. Appreciate the engagement to all you 10 plus people that consistently have been in here the whole time. I truly do appreciate the support. definitely go give Six Figs a follow if you aren't already here at the Real Six Fig on Twitter, X, whatever you guys want to call it. So go give him a follow. Truly do appreciate it. I'm going to try to do these every Friday night at least. And the next week, if any of you guys listening want to tune in, or you have anyone that wants to come on the channel and just talk crypto, shoot the shit. Like I said, we just talk anything on Friday nights. Would love to have you guys on.
And I will be opening up my new OnlyFans channel here pretty quick too.
All right, guys, that's gonna do it. Six Figs, what are you doing tomorrow? Are you going live? Are you doing any social media?
Oh man, I'll probably do something tomorrow. I got to keep the social media engine going. The ad revenue has been freaking off the charts lately, so I got to keep the machine going. And I'll probably see what my day looks like, and go from there.
All right. All right, guys, that's gonna do it. Appreciate you guys all tuning in. We'll catch you tomorrow. Crypto Airborne out.
Rash cream
Always does it.